Hello and welcome to Conquering My Collection. Welcome back to Conquering My Collection and a 2021 wrap-up. Now, I've been too lazy to grab some of my favorite films that I watched on Blu-ray for the first time in 2021 off the shelves to show you with my hand, which will probably dramatically decrease the amount of people who are interested in this video. But I am going to walk through a few quick things about my 2021 year of trying to conquer my collection. So for those of you who are new, I have over 1,000 films in my Blu-ray collection. This is just a very small part of it behind me. Including short films and documentaries, there's probably maybe around 700 to 800 feature films, I would guess, and I've never seen before. Did I mention that? So unwatched films in my collection, massive, huge, unbelievable. And it's just been one of those things where the collecting is kind of a big part of it. Buying stuff that's limited edition and that I don't want to miss out on, sales and things like that. And the collection just balloons and balloons and balloons the more years that you collect. And I've got bad at watching everything, mainly because I don't like to just watch the stuff that I buy. I like to watch streaming things, new movies, old movies that don't have Blu-ray. There's all sorts of stuff. So sometimes I don't want to watch movies, I want to play games. So it's a constant tug of war, and then you find yourself surrounded by these discs that are just taunting you on a daily, hourly, minute by minute basis. You know, my life is literally a living hell of guilt and shame that I've spent all this money that could have gone to people who really needed it on pointless pieces of plastic that really serve no function whatsoever but to kill a few hours of my time before I shuffle this mortal coil and end up 6 feet underground, dead and buried, with a pointless life left behind me, and family who just wish and wonder and just hope that the next generation will do better than I have, and that my children will find a purpose in their lives. And what the hell was he doing with all those things anyway? What a shame that Luke wasted his life. It's always been said that I let a joke run on a bit too long, and that's what you just witnessed. But there is a certain amount of guilt and shame for sure that I have all these films that I haven't watched. But the more that I go through this kind of conquering my collection journey, I find more just justification wrapped on top of justification. Yep, this is exactly why I bought these films. This is exactly why I hold on to them for the right moment, and then it's perfect. Well, no, it's not always perfect, but it's yeah, I was really in the mood for that. 10 years after I bought it, and this is the perfect time. And I've had dozens of those cases, and it really just, and for me, I will say, blind buys, as far as Blu-rays are concerned, is kind of the closest, analog to the video shop that I can get to, I think. And there's a Blu-ray I have coming up in a Blu-ray update video. I'll try and do this quickly without kind of destroying the stack of films that I have neatly stacked, well, not so neatly stacked, on top of the dresser over here. I don't know why I said dresser. It's not a dresser. It's like an IKEA box thing. We'll just call it a dresser. It's like a storage unit. Anyway, I bought this recently. Friendship's Death. Never heard of it ever. I thought the cover looked incredible. Young Tilda Swinton. Had a look at the back cover, and it's about this extraterrestrial named Friendship on a peace mission to Earth. And I just kind of read a little bit more of the synopsis and thought, sold. It was on sale. But it's that video store mentality of just looking at a cover, finding something cool, something about it that grabs you, whether it's the title, the image, the synopsis on the back, that really doesn't give away too much more than that. And that's the kind of, it's the video shop mentality. It's going back to those days, only you're spending a little bit more money on these blind buys, or not. In some cases, when you go to Poundland, it's it's just as much as the old £2 video rentals used to be. Only you own it, and if you don't like it, you can then sell it perhaps. So it's just one of those things. The only issue is I have enough Blu-rays to start my own video shop. So my Conquering My Collection, I've been running for a couple of years, but in 2021, from January 1st, I put all my films into my watch list on Letterboxd so I can track how many films I have left. And the problem was I wanted to stop buying but I kept on buying. And so I had to keep giving myself an intervention on it, and kind of the number kept going down and then back up again, you know. So I run a thread on my Twitter account called My Blu-ray Watchlist, and no one really interacts with it that much, which is kind of a shame because I really enjoy running it, I suppose, and posting it every week. So it's been going now for over 52 weeks, completed a full year of logging every week what I've watched. Some weeks it's nothing, and I kind of post an appropriately shameful GIF, or it'll be a really good week, and it's fun for me to look back on. Now, obviously, I have Letterboxd. I can look at what I'm watching all the time, but to see just the Blu-rays, and also just a quick notes if I can fit it into the 280 character limit, that kind of, you know, it fills in a bit of flavor of my Blu-ray watching for that week. So I'm going to go through that kind of thread or anything, but at the end of the year, I did my 1 year check-in. And I'll just read some of this and kind of give you some stats of the films that I watched in 2021. And I'm not sure if I listed my favorites here, but I definitely did some sort of thread where I talked about my favorite films that I saw for the first time in 2021. I'll talk a little bit about those in this video as well. So, the first full year of this Blu-ray Watchlist challenge, which I've loved and loathed at the same time. Loved as the challenge is fun and recording the progress is satisfying. Loathing because I really can't hide from my own shit. That is true, because I look at some weeks and I'll see that I did nothing. Not even like a 5-minute short film. I couldn't manage anything. Anyway, some stats. I started 2021 with 1,110 films, documentaries, and shorts in my Blu-ray watch list. I ended 2021 with 1,026 remaining. However, the list has been jerry-rigged along the way, so I actually watched 170 films in my collection in 2021. Though before I start celebrating, to break it down, I watched 110 short films and documentaries from my collection, and only 60 feature films. Not so good, pitiful in a way. I also revisited 20 plus films, but for the first time on Blu-ray, which I also log on the thread, the Blu-ray Watchlist thread. So a quick bit of maths showed me that my current watch list count should really be at 940, and that I would have reached my goal for 2021 of vanquishing the big evil 1000. But given my penchant for collecting, I added another 66 films into my collection in 2021, which doesn't sound too bad for someone like me. But my grand plan of buying no Blu-rays in 2021, with the exception of the Eureka Masters of Cinema collection and any new Jackie Chan 88 films release, that fell completely through, and I likely bought over 100 films because I removed some films from the watch list that I'm going to do in future projects. So at some point last year, I took all the Jackie Chan films out of the watch list, because at some point I'm going to do like a 24-hour movie marathon of all of his films. So I know that I'm going to just blitz through all of those in one short period at some point in the future, and that's like a defined project that's definitely going to happen. So a few things are removed, which means I probably bought over 100 films in 2021. Now, hopefully 2022 will be lighter, and this holds me more accountable. But still, even though there were only 60 feature films watched in 2021, I'm still glad I got through 170 total, and some of the short films were absolutely fascinating, and my appreciation for short filmic storytelling grew massively because of it. And in general, I watched some films that I absolutely loved, and I think my absolute favorite of the whole bunch was, drumroll, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, closely followed by Paper Moon and Harvey, among many others. Yeah, so those were like my top three. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, Paper Moon, and Harvey. So a double dose of Jimmy Stewart and some good old 1970s Peter Bogdanovich, rest in peace, action. So it was a vaguely successful first full year of my concerted effort to one day conquer my collection. Hardly anyone interacts with this thread, but that's okay. It's a really fun and useful record for me onwards to year two. So I had a streak in 2021 where I watched a film a day, and I did that for like 100 days, I think. And I even like went to Norway for like 2 weeks, and I took films with me I burned like short films from my collection onto my laptop. I took them with me. I managed to still watch one every day. And then I got back and I was like, wow, I managed to keep this one a day challenge up even when I've traveled to another country during COVID. And I got home and I just completely collapsed, and just not like physically, but like mentally, and just didn't do any more of the kind of one a day things. And I did try and do it again at the beginning of January, and I failed. But I'm okay with it. It's hard right now because I'm really trying to watch more 2021 like new release films, so it kind of fell through a little bit. But yeah, and I started 2022 with a total of 1,028 films. I think currently it's at like 1,017, so I'm really close. But then I have bought a few more things. It's the Christmas thing. So for now, starting now, definitely from now, I'm not going to buy much more. See, I have to add much more, because there'll probably be something. It's just one of those. It's tough when you're a collector. I'm proud of myself for last year. Not so proud of the HMV Premium Collection splurge, but I did okay. I did well, and I'll see if I can find my list of favorite films I saw for the first time in 2021. I don't know where I would. I'm just gonna look at my profile, I guess. But yeah, so that's kind of the look back and the kind of stats. And there have been great short films that I've watched, and there's something interesting to say about at least half of them, I guess, because there were some really good things in there. I liked watching a lot of the like there were some British like cartoons, animated films, short films from like the 50s and 60s, hit and miss, but some of them were really great and like dystopian and abstract. And there was the Martin Scorsese shorts I absolutely loved, and I'm just trying to find this list now. Not that there's anything. I don't think there's anything particularly like, because I could make this its own video. I used to do this, like my favorite films I watched for the first time in the previous year. Maybe I should just do that. I'm not entirely sure if it's worth kind of squeezing another video out of this kind of topic. But for now, I can't exactly find it through scrolling through everything over the past couple of weeks. Well, we're getting to 4th of January now on the timeline. This was a fantastic moment in a 2021 film. If you've seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. And here it is. Okay, here it is. So this is like in no particular order, and there's about 45 films on there. So I'll just run through these. These aren't all from. Actually, I'll just count the ones from my Blu-ray collection. So in no particular order, and actually I think it is in order. It's in order of when I watched them. So, A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, fantastic film. The Rescuers. No, I watched that on Disney Plus. Let's take that away, but that was great. August, Osage County. That was a really good drama. Life After the Navigator, an incredible documentary about the guy who played the kid in Flight of the Navigator. Incredible documentary. Martha Marcy May Marlene. Elizabeth Olsen's one of my favorite actresses. It was nice to see one of her early roles, and she was brilliant in it. After Before, documentary about the making of Before Midnight, fantastic. To Live and Die in LA. So this is when I kind of did my LA crime kick. I kind of went through a number of LA crime films. I didn't list. Surely I would have listed. Where's the other one? There was To Live and Die in LA. Thief. I didn't list Thief in this. So that's a fail. Thief was incredible. I'll put that in there. I'll amend that list. The Grandmother, really fucking weird David Lynch film from 1970. Loved it, and was it was one of the only films I felt genuinely unsettled by. But also couldn't stop watching. Pete's Dragon. I put 1970 on this list, but it's the 2016 remake. Incredible. I love that film. Robot and Frank, fantastic drama. The Man Who Knew Too Much, the 1934 and 1956 version, loved both. Tequila Sunrise, super fun. The African Queen, absolute classic. Harvey, loved. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, loved. Zoo Warriors from the Magic Mountain, batshit crazy, absolutely loved it. Cleo from 5 to 7, one of Agnes Varda's first films, loved that one. Profound Desires of the Gods, that's a Shohei Imamura film, 3 hours in length, and I loved it. What a unique film. That was one that stuck with me and was so worth the 3 hour running time. Chinese Ghost Story 2 and 3, probably one of my favorite trilogies now. I really wasn't expecting those two sequels to live up to the first one. Senna, a great documentary. Tales from Earthsea, hugely underrated or overhated Studio Ghibli film, I thought. And there's probably more. Like, again, Thief. What a film. So there's been some great ones, and some of the short films. I didn't list on there Italian American. Maybe there's like a part of the thread that I missed. Let's see. I'll click on the actual thread. Scroll through. There is. Oh my God, there's two that I missed. Paper Moon, fantastic. Some of the early Buster Keaton films, or the Fatty Arbuckle films that Buster Keaton starred in, The Bellboy, The Hayseed, The Garage, loved all of those. The Last Waltz, Martin Scorsese, awful. The opposite of awful, fantastic. The Wonderful Horrible Life of Leni Riefenstahl, the first film on the Blu-ray Roulette series, which was an amazing 3-hour documentary that I never would have watched, in probably 20 years if I didn't do the Blu-ray Roulette challenge, and kind of that was so funny. The first one that I got was a 3-hour documentary about the woman who made Nazi propaganda films. It's like, really? And it was amazing. I was so happy that I watched that film. Whereas The Friend's House, what's his name? One of my favorite directors, I would say, Abbas Kiarostami. So, his films, Where's My Friend's House, Homework, Life and Nothing More, amazing films. Satoshi Kon's Millennium Actress, just absolutely brilliant story in the way that it's framed, and so playful and inventive and fun and emotional. Premonitions, Following an Evil Deed. That's like a 60-second film that David Lynch made with a camera from the silent era that I just watched about 5 times because it was mesmerizing. Tremors, super fun. What a film. Italian American, one of Martin Scorsese's short films, which is just literally just his parents making dinner and just talking over one afternoon, and it's just gripping and fun and heartwarming and captivating. Wolf Children, an amazing Mamoru Hosoda film. Hosoda, I don't know how to pronounce his. I never know how to pronounce his name. Sneakers, that was super fun. Catfight, hilarious, really dark. The Hidden, like super fun, kind of sci-fi action with Carl MacLachlan. Ocean Waves, another underrated Ghibli film. Thief. Automania 2000, which is one of those early British cartoons that was really interesting. It was about like a future in which everyone lives in cars, and it's just this like dystopian hellscape of just like cars stacked on top of each other, and people just live inside them. American Boy, a profile of Stephen Prince, another kind of like one sitting documentary from Martin Scorsese, where this guy just like bursts into this house, and you just follow him for that night, just telling stories, and it's fucking gripping. So, lots of great stuff. And I hope to very soon vanquish the evil 1000 number in my Blu-ray watch list. And then I can, I don't know, probably spend the next 45 years. Well, I'm not going to live 45 years. What am I talking about? 25 if I'm lucky. I don't know. It's very morbid. I don't know. I don't have much hope for the future, which is actually really sad when I think about it. But where did that come from? I don't know. This is a very scattershot video. I apologize. But I would say at the rate I'm doing it now, I'll probably finish this. I will conquer my collection with finality. Maybe when I'm like 50. And that's if I really don't buy that much going forward. Now, if I were to watch one film every day from my collection, I'd be done with this in 3 years. I could do it before my 40th birthday if I wanted to. But I'm not going to. There's just no way I could watch a film a day. I just have so many other things to do, including editing videos and all the other stuff. There's never enough time for me, and I find that more and more as I get older. It's just slipping away, and it's kind of sad again. Wow, what a mournful, pitiful video this is. Hey, it's true. That's adulting for you. You just realize there's never going to be enough time. Brian Lomax recently posted on Facebook saying something like, it's really sad, or it's a shame that I realize I'm never going to be able to watch everything I want to watch. And it's true. As a film lover, as a music lover probably, and definitely as a book lover, there's never going to be enough time for you to get to everything you want to. Never. And that's kind of, it is what it is, Seize the day, I guess. Anyway, so that was it. That was my Conquering My Collection wrap up for 2021. And stay tuned on my Twitter if you're interested for my weekly updates. Sometimes I kind of fall back on kind of putting the post there every week, but I try and keep it updated as much as I can. And it's just fun to kind of look at the progress for me personally and see where I went wrong, where I went right, and kind of go, oh yeah, that week was really good. You know, that shit is fun. Those kind of stat-based things are fun for me. And if that's only for me, that's cool. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll try and get some more Blu-ray centered focus videos in the future if you like that kind of stuff. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
It's alright by me. Apart from the fact he throws cans of Carlin into a tree. Yeah, he's really cool. Yeah, he's really cool. But he's not quite as cool as you.